Alright, yo, people. What's going on? Welcome to another episode of the Triggered Thoughts podcast. I go by your host name, Verbz.
Myself, official Geniusman.
And today, we've got a very special guest in the building. We're excited. Trust me, how you feeling about this, Genius?
Oh, man, looking forward to it.
Yeah, man.
It's been ready in life, yeah.
Been a long time coming. The collaboration is just, it's just connecting. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
So listen, we've been watching a few podcasts and a couple of them stood out to me. And there's one that I've been jumping in the DMs and the comments over, and it's called Hold the Vision Podcast. If you don't know, get to know. But listen, miraculously, we managed to get Divine from Hold the Vision Podcast on board. So she's here to join us today. Welcome, Divine.
Welcome, Divine.
Thank you so much. It's nice to be here with you and get some conversations going.
There you go. Ready to flow. I hope you're ready to flow,
I'm ready to flow.
I know you are, man. We see how you move on the whole division thing. You get me? So, yeah, it's all crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. Let me just start off with asking you guys, how's your day gone today so far?
Well, I've had a great day. I've spent the day with family. It's just been nice, just good energy, good vibes, good food. You get me? It's been really, really nice. And now I'm nice and relaxed and chilled. I'm ready to go.
Love it. Sounds like a perfect day, you know what I mean? So that's good. What about you, Genius?
Boy, I was contemplating on whether to go to the carnival.
How was it?
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't been in years, but, as you know, sadly, it's a good event, but there's always people that just ruin it for the others. So, the saying, better to be safe than sorry, and prevention is always better than cure. So,
Yeah, for real. You know what? I obviously I ain't been there for years, talking over 10 years too, but I don't know, I've stopped going for a while, but I think even this year, I'm not scared, but it's about cautiousness, innit?
Yeah.
All these people carrying knives, I don't think I want to be around a bunch of millions in tight spaces where there could be knives and all that kind of stuff about. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make no sense to me. So, hopefully those that went there had a good time and it was positive and there was no, casualties and fatalities and stuff like that, because I think it mars the actual real meaning behind Carnival. Do you know what I mean? It's a bad thing. It makes people point at it with negative fingers and say, oh, it's all about this. I mean, already in the media, I've seen certain people talking about British people saying about Carnival's going to have two-tier policing. That's the new thing they keep coming up with now, isn't it?
Oh, gosh.
You know what I mean? So when it's an event with ethnic minority people, the police are very kind and friendly. But when it's a British white event, it's all, full guns blazing and that. But hey, I don't really believe in the two-tier business, but each to their own. Let me go back on topic. You know what I mean? So people, does parental approval matter when it comes to new relationships? So let me give you guys a breakdown, you listeners, you viewers, a breakdown. So just as a scenario, so most people will date, and when they're dating, whether it's online dating, whether it's physically meeting somebody and then deciding to date, what tends to happen is after a while of dating, if it goes well, you want to start making that relationship or it become an official relationship. Yeah. Would you agree, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you get to that point now, let's just say, we won't say weeks, let's just say a good few months, maybe. Yeah. You might say, all right, let's make this relationship official because you feel you might know the person a bit better and you're clicking and connecting spiritually and all that stuff. Yeah. You should want to approach your parents and get approval, just to kind of solidify if that person is right for you. That's what some people would think, So I'm just giving the scenario to the listeners. That's what this show is about today.
Okay.
Would some of us choose to go to our parents and ask for their approval or get them to sit down with the person, get to know, the person sits down around our parents, gets to know them, have a conversation, see if it flows. Parents might read them spiritually, energy-wise, or ask some questions that might make them think, nah, or, you know what, is that important to you guys? What do you think? Just give us a brief answer. I'm going to go with you, Divine, first.
Okay. So, I mean, I think in terms of that, seeking approval from the parents, you've got to look at what kind of relationships the parents have had. You've got to be able to think, you know, can this person practice the correct discernment? Because even though they're our parents, they still are human beings and they've lived a life and they've maybe made mistakes or made bad choices. So I think sometimes, depending on the relationship your parents have had, they don't really, I think it kind of determines on how much of a say they have when it comes to the person you're having a relationship with. Don't get me wrong, it's not nice if your parents don't like them, straight up and down don't like them. Yeah. But you just gotta, it's just kind of just looking at what they've been through and what they've done in their lives. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Sometimes I think we tend to look at our parents and we kind of just naturally look up to them. But sometimes they've made mistakes that are not good. So yeah, man, it's just about discernment, really.
Okay, so if you had both of your parents was together, would you, for I don't know, since you was born all the way up, would you think about having your partner meet them, or would you still say it depends?
Oh no, most definitely. I feel like if they've been together, all my life, then it's a kind of thing where they've obviously done something right. Do you know what I'm saying? If the relationship is healthy, if it's balanced and all the good stuff, then yeah, of course I would want my parents, I would want their approval, because I would look to them, because it's kind of just looking up to them, isn't it? But man, I just think I do think it's different when both parents have been present in a healthy relationship.
Definitely. Very good answer. What do you think, Genius?
Good question. For me personally, I kind of look at it like it's kind of my life. I'm an adult. So I feel that obviously any relationship I get into, as long as me and the person get on very well, then this is what I mean. Also, depending on, whether it's going to be a short-term relationship, long-term relationship, because obviously you have to really get to know the person very well before you even introduce them to your parents, for one. But also, ultimately, the decision has got to be yours, because let's say, for example, if your parents disapprove of the relationship, then are you going to then automatically, end the relationship? Because at the end of the day, your parents are living their life. You, as the individual, have got your own life to live. So, it's a tough one, because at the same time, you don't want to come across as disrespectful. But then at the same time, there might be some parents that might not like the partner, and I've been in in the past situation where I don't like this, something about this person that I don't like, and the person is absolutely fine. That's what I mean. And then also you have to remember as well, certain cultures, where there are cultures which basically, before you can even get into a relationship, your mum and dad finds out the relationship for you. So it's a thing where now you don't even get to choose. Your parents choose for you, and you have to accept that. Depending on if you're the sort of person as well that, listens to everything that your parents say, so you won't challenge anything. If it's one of those arranged relationships, or, where it's an arranged marriage, then once again, it's like you're with someone that you might not even be physically attracted to, but because it's a respect thing, and your parents have basically, said, what, this is, you don't really get a say in this. We found this partner for you. You're going to get married. That's that. So to be quite honest with you, I personally say it's down to the individual. So for myself personally, speak from experience, it's what makes me happy at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So because at the end of the day, when you're in that relationship with the person, it's not you, mum, and the dad. It's you and that person. Do you see what I mean? So yeah, that's my thoughts on that.
But do you ever think, this is a very good answer, and you wiped out one of my questions with that answer, by the way. As soon as you mentioned arranged marriage, I was like, oh my days.
You're still touching it, God, yeah.
But you're right. Very good answer. I totally agree with what both you and Divine are saying. But I'm thinking sometimes when you're you're dating somebody and you might not necessarily be sure if they're you know what I mean, innit? Like the long-term kind, and you can't really figure it out for yourself, and you just want that. You know, sometimes some people bring their partner to their friends, and their friends are kind of able to scope that person a little bit more, or you have that good friend that's a good judge of character or something. If you weren't sure and you went to your parents for that and they had that ability, then, you get what I'm saying? Like, that's where I think people would say, oh, you know, it might be worthwhile making my partner meet my parents before I go any further. Obviously, if the parents disapprove, and when they disapprove, it seems unreasonable. It's just, oh, chap, I don't like him. If you get what I'm saying, then you're going to make that decision to say, nah, that's not good enough. But if they give you some kind of valid concerns, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's where people would more tend to do that. Obviously, if you got shit parents, then people will avoid that overall, innit?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Verbz, can I add one thing? I'll be honest with you, like, obviously I'm married, my missus.
Yeah.
Like, my mom doesn't, you know, obviously, like my wife. That's what I mean? And there's no genuine reason for that. That's what I mean? But at the same time, you know, just to use this, you know, as a real life scenario, I'm still in a relationship because, once again, just to prove the point that I said, you know, both parents have met my missus. You know what I mean? My dad, you know, he doesn't dislike my wife, but yeah, it's just one of them things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know, once again, you know, to state, you know, obviously what you said there, yeah. At the end of the day, if I was someone that, you know, went based on parental approval, then I did. You know what I mean? If I did obviously go along with that, then I wouldn't be with my missus now. Obviously, I've got 2 children. You know what I mean? Yeah, it is what it is, man. You know what I mean? I'm not going to hide it. You know what I mean? It's something. It's nothing to be hidden. It's how many years now? You know what I mean? So yeah. So to answer that question, real life scenario, yeah. I'm still with my missus, and that relationship between my mum and my wife is non-existent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it is what it is. It's sad. It's a sad situation, but at the end of the day, I've got to live my life. You know what I mean? There's no way that I would, you know, dictate and say to my mum, oh, don't approve of that man. At the end of the day, that might be my faults, but at the end of the day, it's her life and it's her choice to make that decision for herself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Yeah, definitely.
Can I just say something?
Go ahead, fire away.
Adding to that. So it's like, I think sometimes, like, because I remember my last long-term relationship, my mum didn't like my partner. And I come from a Caribbean family. My mum's side of the family are Caribbean, and they're like, oh, I don't know what it is. My spirit just don't take to that person.
That works. I've heard that, innit?
All the time, yeah. And it's just like, and my grandmother used to say to me, oh, no, there's a reason why people say that. And I'm like, okay, all right. You get me? And the relationship didn't work out, but that's just because we were on different journeys and our paths just, we didn't end badly, but it was just like, I remember having a conversation with my mum, and she was like, yeah, my spirit never took to that person. I was like, yeah, but he was a good person though. He wasn't a bad person. And I think sometimes your parents, like my mum being a strong, like Caribbean woman, it's like they feel that you're in debt to them. You owe them. Like it's like you have to run everything past them before you do it. But I'm quite rebellious, so I'm just going to do it anyway. I go with like energy. I'm a very energy person. I go with, if the energy doesn't feel good, I'm out in it. But sometimes I just think, do our parents overdo it? Do they overthink it? Are they just being a little bit bad man? Because in a way,
that's a very good question.
Do you know what I'm saying? In a way, it took me away from her because I wasn't accessible to her all the time because I'm in a full relationship and we're living together. You're going to be building a family and everything. So yeah, she it was quite selfish the way she acted in that situation.
Yeah. Very, very, very good point and very good question. Are our parents being a little bit too selfish? I like that one, you know. That's good. I think that could be an episode in the future.
100%, yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know what I was going to say, you know, based off of you two's, you know, recent answers, it just makes me feel like, you know, the example you just gave, Divine, what reasons would there be why parents would why parents would respond negatively to partners? There's so many different things. You know what I mean? Like I could give one example. Say for instance, if it's a boy, a mum not wanting to let her son go leave her for another girl, another female. You know what I mean? Like that. Some mums struggle with that.
Yeah.
Because they look at the girlfriend as competition. Or if he goes off with her, she's gonna get all of his attention now, and I'm not gonna get no attention, or there's gonna be no contribution from him if it's financial, or do you know what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
You know, and it's sad when things like that happen. Do you know what I mean? Because really and truly, parents wise, that's no disrespect, but that's a them problem that they really need to just try and get over.
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah, definitely. I do think they can be selfish in certain situations because, like I said before, it takes away, you're not as accessible to them as they want you to be. You know what I'm saying?
Well, this is it. That's a good point as well. And some parents, believe it or not, I think I've spoken to a few people and some have mentioned it. Some parents actually like controlling their kids.
They love it.
It's manipulation.
It's a real thing, man.
Yeah. Whether it's to send them to the shop or do this or drop me here or drop me there or I choose who you're with or I'm the leader of this family pack. You know, like a Peggy Mitchell. That kind of, you know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. Some parents actually operate like that. Just because they're Jamaican, African or whatever, you know, they're still a Peggy Mitchell, mate. They've just got a different shade of skin, innit?
It's true. It's
you
true.
know what I mean?
Yeah. Verbs.
You know, yeah.
I want to ask you a question, yeah?
Fire away, mate.
Yeah. Have you ever been in a situation where your parents disapproved of your partner? And if so, how did you handle it?
Nah, you know what? To be honest with you, I've been fortunate enough when I have brought my lady experiences to my parents' house, to my mum's house. I've been fortunate enough that they've been good. I think I kind of picked well, although some of them are crazy. They've genuinely got like...
All women are crazy.
Yeah, you know what I mean? They've genuinely got... I usually tend to pick women that are family orientated, have very good manners, and can are not shy in social situations. They could be in a family gathering where it's not their family and they can just strike conversations with people. You know what I mean? That's the kind of women that I like. I don't like when you bring a woman, you introduce a woman to your family and she just sits there shy.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Yeah, I don't like that. You know what I mean? Oh, why are you not talking to nobody? Oh, it's not my family. I feel a bit uncomfortable and familiarize yourself, man. Get stuck in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, it's a skill, man. You know what I'm saying? But, so unfortunately, fortunately, I should say, I haven't had that experience. But one thing I will say is, my mum can be a bit, what's the word? Controlling, if you get what I'm saying, and dictative. You know what I mean? So yeah, sometimes she will say, "Oh, this shouldn't be, your energy shouldn't be put, yes sir, it should be put over there, sir." And that kind of madness, if you get what I'm saying. I'm just like, I just look at her like, oh, whatever, man. Like, you know what I mean? I'm doing what I'm doing, man. You stay there with that. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So I don't really care. And even if I continue to do what I'm doing and it broke down in the long run, then my mum will be like, oh, you know, like, oh, I did tell you and whatever. I don't really care. I got to do what I got to do.
Yeah, you have to learn. How are you going to learn from experiences if you don't go through them?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to let her dictate because no disrespect, but my mum's kind of one of them. But some of them, if you let them dictate too much, they'll run your life.
Oh, 100%.
Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm not letting no one run my life. I'm a big man now, so I'm me to make my mistakes. You see it?
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah. What's I going to say now? It's the next one. So, obviously, I just said we spoke about parents picking correctly. We just gave an array of reasons why they might not pick correctly. My question that shifted to the side was, is there a difference between parental approval and arranged marriage?
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? What do you guys think? Any one of you can go first.
Divine, I'll give you that one.
Take your time, take your time.
Okay, so is there a difference between parental approval and what? Sorry?
So if you had to get approval from your parents, and then if you was in a situation where there was arranged marriage, would you say there's any difference?
Oh, well, I think
if you had to.
Yeah, sorry, I had to really think about it. So I think in the case of arranged marriages, I've got a friend, she's Asian woman, and she had an arranged marriage. And then obviously she didn't meet the person until it was like a few days before the wedding, because I think they have like a few different ceremonies. But yeah, and she saw him and she cried. And she said, I can't do this. Yeah.
Oh my days.
I'll never forget. I'll never forget. She came, she messaged everyone in a group chat. She was like, fam, it's mad.
Wow.
She was trying to do it out of respect because her father was like unwell, and it was just something she wanted to be traditional, and she didn't want to break his heart. So she was like, yeah, let me do this, innit? And then she was like, I can't do it. I don't even like him. He don't even look like a good guy. He's not even attractive. And she said, like, it's not even about being attractive, because she was like, I don't even know him. And even when he spoke, she was like, nah, this is what my parents really picked for me, you know? They literally do not rate me. Like, she just felt, so she kind of went along with it first. And then she said, she backed out. She said, I can't. And then she didn't speak to her parents they didn't speak to her for about 4 years. And it was only 4 years she didn't speak to them. They literally just dashed her out the family and said that she just break the family. Yeah, it was really, really bad. And the only reason why they spoke again was because the dad got really ill, and then he passed away. And it was like, you know, she had conversations with her mum afterwards, and her mum said the only reason why, you know, we wanted to do that is because of tradition and because it would make your father happy and stuff. But she said, like, the mum didn't agree with it, but she was just going along with her husband. And this is what I'm saying, things like that. Sometimes it works out, but then sometimes it don't, you know.
It's the culture though, isn't it? The hierarchy thing, isn't it? The man's the power in that movement.
Again, that's what it is. And she ended up marrying a black man in the end.
Is it?
Yeah, she married a black man in the end. And she's got, you know, they've got 4 children together, and they're really happy and stuff. And the mum's cool with it. But even when she had her first child, the mum was like, your dad would not be happy with this. Do you know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't even say that. That's disrespectful, man. I wouldn't even be comfortable saying that.
It's so bad, isn't it? But that's what I mean. It's the cultural differences sometimes. So I think sometimes in different cultures, they do things to make their parents happy, but evidently, you know, and ultimately they're not happy. They're not. And she always says, imagine if I did that, you know? Imagine if I married that guy, and then I would have been miserable for the rest of my life.
It's true.
It's crazy. Crazy.
Well, at least she made the right decision in the end, because now she's got a black cucumber in her life. Well done.
She loves it. Trust me, she's happy. She had 4 kids back to back as well. Do you get
it? I mean, you put in that work. Yeah, that's it. Wow, that's a crazy one. Still genius. Don't try to run away from the answer now, you know.
Yeah, go on. Rephrase that question.
That's like I said. I like your breakdown and your example there, Divine. Thank you very much. That's very insightful and detailed, and I think a lot of people would even hear that and be like, raw. Yeah, I mean, I would put things into perspective for a lot of people, that breakdown that you've done there. Yeah, I mean, so genius.
Yes, sir.
Do you think there's a difference between parental approval, if you had to get parental approval, and arranged marriage?
Well, parental approval and arranged. Yeah, because obviously, if you're for the parental approval, that's basically like you being in a relationship. You're interested in someone, but then you now need to go and seek your parents' approval to see, you know, okay, I like this person, you know, do I get your blessing? Do you approve of this individual? And even saying that, you have to remember as well, there are certain cultures that, you know, prefer you to stick with your own. You see what I mean? So if it's a thing where you're a black man and you're, you know, with an Asian woman, it could be a problem because it goes against, you know, their cultural standards. You see what I mean? And it can go as deep as there even end up being on a killing as a result of that. If you go, you see what I mean? you know. So for that, you know, once again, the approval.
Does that still go on?
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, absolutely. You might not hear much of it, but yeah, in some countries, yeah, that's very much.
But I mean, like here.
I would say so.
Yeah.
I would say so.
Just swept under the carpet and that.
Yeah, definitely. You know.
Sorry to cut you there, bro.
No, that's all right.
Yeah.
But in terms of and obviously the parental one, in terms of, you know, the arranged marriage, yeah, once again, to be quite honest with you, you know, if you look at both of them, you know, separately, it's like a form of control and manipulation if you really look at it deeply, because you're not really in control of your own life. Why should your parents dictate? You're a grown adult. If you were someone that's maybe under the legal age, then it's something else. But once you're a grown adult, you should be able to be with who you want, despite of, you know, race, religion, class. This what I mean? You know, as long as you love one another and you get on and it's a good relationship, then your parents should approve and accept that, because you'd want the best for your child, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You know, unless the person is being very disrespectful, there's, you know, domestic violence and this what I mean, then it's cause for concern. But other than that, every adult has the right to, you know, to make their own informed choice and be with who they want to be with, without being told you have to be with this person, and if you're not with that person, I'm going to cut you off, because that's how some cultures are. They'll cut you off quick. And some people, when they cut you off for life. And for me, it tells me that something is very, very wrong with that mindset. Very, very wrong with that mindset, because for one, yeah, you are telling your child, you know, to marry someone that you don't even know anything about. You don't know if this person is a serial killer. You don't even know if this person, as you know, is someone that abuses women, beats women. This what I mean? But yeah, you're happy for them to, you know, get with someone that they absolutely know nothing about. You know what I mean? And then what I've heard as well, and I've seen and I've watched documentaries where people are in these relationships, in these arranged marriages or arranged relationships, and there's a lot of them are suffering in silence. They're ridiculed, they're belittled, they're disrespected. You know what I mean? And they're told to put up with it. They've got to put up with it. You know, it's sad, and I feel that there should be, you know, there should be a law about something, you know, about something like that. I'm being honest with you. That's how serious I look at it, because people lose their lives for stuff like that.
Arranged marriage is saying.
Yeah.
I think there is a law against that, you know, but a lot of people, they know how to go around it.
Yeah. You know, and I say that, that's not me. I want to add, that's not me being disrespectful to people's culture, but when it gets to a point where people could lose their life, and, you know, it causes disruption in the family and bitterness. I mean, it comes with a lot of consequences, man. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's my answer to that. You know.
Very good answer. Very good answer.
Verbz, I've got a question for you. Yeah, this one.
You're firing away at me, innit?
So, you know, on the same topic. So, do you think, based on obviously what we've spoken about, do you think a relationship can thrive without parental approval, or is it essential for a long-term success?
a good answer, you know, still.
Okay, do you want me to say that again? A bit slower.
Go on, yeah, slower. Layman's terms.
So, can a relationship thrive without parental approval?
Yeah,
or is it essential for long-term success?
I think it can thrive without parental approval.
Why?
I think, just depends on you, innit? And I think it depends on the individual. Some individuals are good at being a judge of character. You know what I mean? Working things out themselves. I do think one of the weak points, I should say, with a lot of human beings is many of us don't exercise self-discipline in the best way that we can. So if we want a long-term partner, a lot of us tend to get overexcited and jump into a relationship like a two-footed slide tackle just because the person is attractive or the person is a business owner or has a certain amount of money, or do you get what I'm saying to you? Like certain tick points that will make you think, oh, rah, that's unique. I ain't had that before. People will tend to jump in, and then
if that crashes, a lot of human beings will go through the same, Groundhog Day process again when they meet another person, and it continues, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Which is why you will see, and evidently with that is why you see enough man out here with a busload of pick-me and enough women out here with a busload of pick-me, innit?
Yeah. It's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's true.
So I just think if the individual, which is rare, has got the capacity to exercise self-discipline and be patient, because I think no matter who you're with, whether it's the right person or the wrong person, if you're patient, you won't get caught up in the web of fuckery. That's how I see it.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because the longer, I always say to females that I know, the longer you can drag it out for is the more that person's going to show their ass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because man, especially, this counts for women now too, because I think women are kind of active like the men now, but more so men.
Women are mad.
Yeah, women are mad now, you get me? But more so men, if a man is interested in a woman and he's taking her out on a series of dates, now he wants the apple pie and he wants it fast, yeah?
Mm.
And she's not giving it to him. She's like, wait, I need to get to know you. I don't move like that. You know what I mean? I value myself and rare. I would say 9 out of 10 men, I would even say 10 out of 10, but I believe that there are some good men out there, innit? You get me? Mm-hmm. But I think 9 out of 10 men are going to go and stray, do something with somebody else, and come back like they ain't touched nothing. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But the way they come back, even if they think they're slick, if you pay attention, the way they come back will show you that they've touched something.
Oh, yeah, a woman always knows.
Yeah, because they're not coming back submissive. They're kind of coming back cocky. I don't care what no one says. Once you go out there and get some crutches elsewhere, you come back with a pep in your step.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know? So at the end of the day, I just think like if you can exercise self-discipline, work somebody out, drag it out, and if that person is good and they wait, I think you'll achieve your goal, innit? Without parental approval, you get me? But if you're a person that keeps jumping in, whether parents give you approval or not, you're just going to fuck it up, man.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
It's true. Mm-hmm. Divine.
Yes.
I've got a question for you based on something that you said before. I think your answer will be really good on this one. How can effective communication help bridge the gap between partners and disapproving parents?
Oh, wow. It's a strong one.
That's a big... My man's been doing his journalism today, you know.
Literally been doing his research, isn't it?
I'm telling you, you know what I mean?
Wait, repeat the question.
Yeah.
Slowly, layman's terms.
Okay, yeah. So, how can effective communication help bridge the gap between partners and disapproving parents?
So, basically, I kind of talk from personal experience, but I'll generalize it. So
yeah, go ahead.
I think, honesty is 99.9% of the time is the best policy. You just got to say it straight up and down. Like, I remember being in that situation and I just said to my partner, because I got to know him for a good year and a half before I even introduced, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got to vet you. Do you get me? I got a whole daughter and everything, so I have to vet you. So I did that, innit? And then I was just like, all right, you're cool. So I'm like, you can come, innit? You can come, you can be here or whatever. Yeah. And I was just like, I was honest with him and I told him, I said, listen, my mum's feisty, innit? She don't like no one. So what I'm going to say to you is just take her with a pinch of salt. She's probably going to look you up and down. She's probably going to do all that, ask you a million questions. But if you are confident in who you are, that's not going to bother you. If you're lying or you're in false character or you're playing a part, then it's going to bother you. And I will watch people because for me, you got to just be, I think especially when you're dealing with like a black woman, you have to be strong in your character because guaranteed 9 times out of 10, she's going to have a strong family behind her. And it's usually always a strong family of strong women who've had to struggle and do this and you know the whole story. So it's like, so you just have to be confident within who you are and be true to yourself, really. Yeah. And then it was a thing where, I said to my mum, look, I've met someone, I want you to meet them. I know you're going to do the most, but they're cool, innit? And then I'll just watch them. So I think it's about being honest with both parties about what's going on. And you know what? I'm going to say another thing. It's kind of slightly off topic, but
flow.
Like where I've got a daughter, now see if she don't like them, yeah? It's a no. I can't, because for my child to say, nah, I don't like them.
Okay.
Because children, they're very innocent, isn't it? So, and they're very open. So everything to them is very black and white. And there's only on one occasion my daughter turned around and said to me, yeah, and this wasn't even a partner, it was just a friend, innit? And she was like, nah, I don't like him. I don't like him. Do you know what I mean? I had to cut that person off. And then afterwards, I found out all kind of badness about this person, you know?
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, so I feel like with a child's mind's very innocent. So where it's black and white to them, usually they're good judges of character. But with parents, they've got too much knowledge and a whole bag of fuckery behind them. Yeah. So they're just going to say anything. They'll say, oh, I didn't like the way he walked, or I didn't like the way he did. They'll say a madness, do you know what I'm saying? So I just think it's about just be honest. Just be honest to your partner about who your parents are, and be honest to your parents about who your partner is. And if they get along, they get along. If they don't, and if it becomes a big problem, then we're all going to have to sit down and talk about it. If it becomes a really big problem, do you know what I'm saying? Because it's horrible to be in the middle of that. You don't want to be in the middle of it. If you can control it to the point where, you know, all right, you don't like that person doesn't like you, it's cool, but they'll be amicable, then that's cool. But if it's just done, then it just puts you in a position. So I think you just need to be able to speak up, really.
Powerful.
Very, very good answer, man. Man, I like that.
I wanted to ask you, you know, when you cut that friend off, did he ask you, how did you respond to, did he say, you know, what's the reason?
He messaged me and he was like, oh, like, do you want to, he asked me if I wanted to go and do something. And I was like, nah, I don't, innit? And I was just like, and he was like, what's going on? And I said, nah, for me, my daughter don't like you. So I can't have you around. I don't have people around my child like that, innit? So I let you in. He was going through a hard time in his life, and I'm a very empathetic person. And I used to be a little bit sort of too empathetic before. And I would try and help everyone, innit? So I let him come into my world, have a little kind of peek into my world. And I thought, do you get me? Nah, he's all right. But the energy was off, but I just thought it was because of what he was going through. But he was just like, oh, okay, you know, that's fair enough. He didn't really try and fight it too much. So for me, that was clarity that he weren't right.
Okay,
To be fair, you can't fight because it's a child's perception. What are you fighting against? You know what I mean? Yeah. You know?
Real, man.
I like that answer, man. That's good. And the mere fact that you brought up the fact that your child didn't like him, and like with parents, they've gone through their own experiences, and sometimes there's what's the word, like PTSD triggers where they might see something in a man that reminds them of a man that they were with, or the dad, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that might trigger them to be like, no, you know what, I'm gonna like that person. Whereas a child's innocent. They ain't got all them distractions and them experiences yet. So when they don't like you, it's purely spiritual.
Exactly, yeah. And I'm a very spiritual person. I believe in that. And like, I work with children, innit? So for me, when like even just little things, they'll say, I don't like that colour nail varnish you're wearing. I don't like it. I'll never wear that colour again. Because the child ain't gonna lie to you. Do you get me? They're telling you the truth.
And the thing is that friend of yours is in the house. The child might not have liked him, but the fact that he didn't block on, because sometimes a child might not like you right away, you know. But if you clock on and then you start talking to the child a certain way or showing them something different, if you get what I'm saying, but it's genuine, not no fake thing, it's genuine, then that child might come around afterwards and be like, because I've seen it, you'll see children, they stay away from somebody. Once they start talking to them for a bit, they come around them and they're all climbing on their head and all that kind of stuff. So it's the effort that you make as well, the fact that you missed all of it. There you go, innit?
And it was when I sort of reflected back on it, I thought, do you know what? It was like the few times that he came to the house or whatever, like my daughter would go upstairs, innit? And she wouldn't, and I just thought, rah, like I picked, and I asked her straight out, and she said, I don't, and it just feels funny. She was like, it just feels off when he's about. And then his behavior just, I started clocking things then, and I thought, I can't help you. You're going to have to bounce now.
It's very good that you paid attention to that, though, because I can only imagine how, I don't know if he was a love interest or whatever, but I can only imagine, even if he was just a friend or how left that could have possibly have went if he was continuing to, do you know what I'm saying? And we know of scenarios where the worst can happen. So thank God that your daughter was able to voice her feelings about that man and you was strong enough to act upon it. Do you get me?
Yeah, 100%.
You know? You have anything left to throw around, Genius?
You know what? Divine, you know, have you got any questions you want to fire at us? It'd be interesting to hear if you got anything. I don't mind asking.
So I'm going to ask you both a question, yeah?
Yeah, go on.
What would you do if you met somebody, and you loved them off? You got to the point where you really loved them off and you thought they could be that one person. And you introduced them to your parents and your parents like, nah, I'm not on it. And they gave you the ultimatum, but it's either me or them.
It's a good question.
Yo.
That's a good question, you know.
What are you saying?
That's a good question, you know.
That's a good one, you know.
And Verbz, do you want to go or should I go?
Nah, you can go first, you know.
Divine, this one's going to be deep, you know. This one's going to be deep. So, you know, cut a long story short, I was in a cult for many years. Yeah. Okay. To be precise, 8 years to be precise.
Unknowingly in a cult, yeah.
Yeah, unknowingly, nice one. Unknowingly in a cult. Yeah. Obviously, when I came out of it, then I realized it ticked every box of a cult. So when I joined this church, you know, initially it was all nice. It was like a little family and whatnot. And then I found out I had to cut off family and friends, you know. And I cut off family and friends, you know, literally my parents were saying for 8 years to speak to my mum and dad, you know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and, you know, I was really brainwashed, man. Really, really brainwashed. And, you know, scriptures were used, twisted, you know, like, because, you know, some people, they can interpret the scripture to mean a particular thing, but it's down to your own interpretation. So it was used in a very manipulative way where, you know, if your parents are not serving God, then they're not really your family. And, you know, so a scripture was used. It was kind of twisted out of context. But at the time, being new to obviously the church and not having the knowledge of the scriptures and stuff like that, I went with, you know, the knowledge that was taught with that interpretation by the pastor. Obviously, you know, RIP, she's obviously since passed on. But it was deep, you know what I mean? And it's, you know, so even, you know, to tie this into your question, practically just for the church, I cut off everybody.
That's crazy. It's so powerful what these kind of things can do and these different groups of people can do.
You know, so that, obviously my wife as well was in the church as well. We both obviously went through control and manipulation, and likewise, you know, we didn't see family, and it was terrible, man. And you would think, you know, being adults, that some people that's watching this might say, oh, you know, how can you be so stupid? How can but you'd be surprised, Divine. You know, obviously you, Verbz, might not see it that, but there are people out there that are like, raw. Is there no part of you that, couldn't you have run away? Couldn't you have just got help? Could you have not got? There's so many different scenarios, because obviously, but I'll be honest, if it had been the other way around, I'd probably be like, wow, how did you allow something like that to happen? You know, why did you not just stop going to the church? Why? How did you allow them to get into your head like, do you know what I mean? So, you know, for the ones that I know that will probably judge and say, you know, because there will be people that will be like, right, that's a bit mad. It wasn't an easy situation. And had you said to me, you know, prior to me joining the church, oh, you're going to be in a car, I'd be like, what, me? You crazy? No way. And I learned something through this situation, that never say something will never happen to you, because you just never know in what form that it can come. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, but through everything that I've gone through and through everything that I've experienced, you know, answer to your question, if a choice was to be made where, you know, it's either my family or my wife, I'd say I'll go for my wife without question. 100%.
What if this was right in the beginning, though?
Well, I already made my choice because obviously, remember from the beginning, my mum never really liked, obviously my wife from the beginning. So that's what I mean. So had there been any, how can I put it? Had there been any, if it was more direct, I don't want you to be with this woman or whatnot, then that's what I mean. I wouldn't be with her now. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Well, how I look at it, obviously everything was in line with, with God's plan anyway. That's what I mean. Because obviously there was just so many different things, that happened. But despite everything where they was trying, to split us up, there was a lot of different scenarios. And through the thick and thin and the turmoil and the fights, we still managed to pull through. It's not been easy.
You stayed strong. I rate you for that. Rating for that. Because it's not easy, not when it's your family and your parents. It's almost like they have so much power over you, so much control over you anyway, regardless of even trying to dictate your life. For you to be able to stand up and say, no, because I say it, like I was having a conversation the other day, narcissistic parents is a real thing, Sometimes they're not even doing it to be bad mind. It's just how they are. They're conditioned that way. And you don't know what they went through growing up and stuff. So they feel like it's normal to be able to control you like that. But for you and your wife to stand your ground like that, like I take my hat off to you. Ratings, man.
It's not been easy, man. I'm not gonna lie. We've really gone through, man. That's what I mean. And despite all the odds and the challenges and the fights, man, we managed to just still pull through. So that's the answer to that question, man. Very good question, man. Very good question, man. Verbz, it's your turn now, man.
Just on the just to add to that, man. I think like a marriage that ain't worth fighting for ain't really a marriage, man. Sometimes you have to go for a little rough and tumble, mate. It makes you stronger. If it's too smooth, you can get too complacent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Also, in terms of the parents, sometimes you know what. You got narcissistic parents, as you rightly said, Divine, but you also got some parents where they didn't achieve what they were supposed to achieve in their lives.
Yes.
You come up and they see you growing into greatness and they get jealous. And when you're trying to do things and things are coming in line, things are falling in place for you, all these good things, it might be you got your car, then you buy yourself a house, then you get yourself and your parent is watching this. They get jealous and want to sabotage it. And sometimes they don't even realize they're doing it, but it's something within them like a spirit where they're sabotaging your life. You know what I'm saying?
So true.
Yeah, but let me answer your question. I don't want to seem like I'm running away. Yeah, I don't want to seem like I'm running away from it like Genius usually tries to. You get me?
You're cheeky, man.
Yeah, I don't know, for me, if I really loved a woman and my parent was like, I don't like her, and then the woman said to me, boy, you know what? You got to choose. It's between me and them. I have to be realistic. That's a very, very, very tough one,
It is
very, 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 very tough one.
She came with a big blow, man.
Yeah,
she came with a big blow.
I mean, I'll answer it, but I'm going to be realistic.
Yeah.
I've got like moral principles for everybody when it comes to
just answer the question.
No, listen, let me break it down. When we listen to your 10-minute, 15-minute rabble, mate. Yeah, you know what I mean? Give me a chance. I just started. You know what I mean? But I've got very strong morals for everybody. Like when it comes to family, whether it's relationship or family ship. Yeah. Like for me,
man made up a whole new word, you know.
I mean, but like for me, what was I gonna say? My mum has got her ways, real Jamaican. You know what I mean? Got her ways. Her ways can be, sometimes when my mum does certain things or says certain things, I just sit there and I shake my head like, well, you ain't elevated past that yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they won't. They're not running.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? When you hear that saying, you can't teach her, I'm not going to refer to my mum as that, but an old person, new tricks, like that sticks when I see some of the things my mum does. You get me? But at the same time, although she's got her ways, there is an underlying love for her. And if a woman said that to me, what I would do, basically, let me give you a quick example. Let me give you a quick example before I give you my answer. Yeah?
Yeah, good.
You see, sometimes mums or parents can be unreasonable and rude to a partner.
Yeah.
Yeah? And then sometimes you might have a cutthroat partner that will be rude and unreasonable to your parents. Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm that guy that will be like, I'll pull my woman to the side separately and I'll pull my mum to the side and I'll be like, I won't tolerate you chatting to my mum a certain way. I don't care what she does. You have to keep it together and we discuss it at home and I will approach that. You're not doing that. And then I'll go to my mum and be like, under no circumstances will I have you talking to my missus like that. If you got an issue, you talk to me and I will approach that. I'm not that guy that's going to sit in the middle while the two of you are arguing or one person bads up another and I'd have to pick sides on the spot. Me nah do that. You know what I mean? So I'm saying, so that's just me in a nutshell. So if a woman said to me, your mum don't like me or whatever, you're going to have to pick. I would tell her if I really loved her, I'm going to be real. Because especially nowadays, good partners are hard to find.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? If you say, well, you know what, go about your business, then I'll stay with my mum. That might be another additional 12 to 15 years on a dating app for you, blood, to no success. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So for me, I'd be like, you know what? I would distance myself from my mum to make our thing work, but I'm letting you know I'm not locking off my mum 400 like that for no woman. You get me? Yeah, simple and plain. I'm not doing that for the woman to my mum, or not doing it for my mum to the woman, if you get what I'm saying. Yeah, something there has to be a distance where it's safe, but two of you ultimately know I'm checking whoever between you, and that's how it stands. You get what I'm saying? If she wants to walk after that because she wants me to lock her off completely, then that's her choice as far as I'm concerned.
No, I hear that.
But I can't make a woman tell me that I can't chat. I can't make a woman put me in a predicament where I have to choose not to chat to the woman who gave me lifeblood.
It's weird, isn't it?
Regardless of her ways, that's mad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a good question, man.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, like I said, my mum has her ways. My mum could be a pain in the ass sometimes. She says it about me.
But she's not going to change. And that's
she's not going to change. That's who she is. But at the same time, I wouldn't be able to spiritually be balanced and happy if I know that I locked off my mum completely for a woman. Because you got to look at what that is. If my mum gets sick, I can't go and see her.
Yeah, that's wild.
If my mum dies, I can't go to the funeral. Because my missus is going to be like, I told you, you can't, Red. You know what I mean? I can't do that. That's a Mazaline.
Yeah. And Verbs, was that everything or so?
You flow.
No, go on, because I want to show my bad. Did you?
No, I've run out. You lot swing through my stuff, so too fast. You lot's questions was too, you know what I mean, sharp and wide and long, and man, it was mad. But
What I wanted to add as well in this situation, so people can understand, like the kind of missus that I have here. Like she's deep. My missus is deep.
Yeah, she is.
She said to me, like, even when it's Mother's Day, you can imagine it's mad. It's a madness. And there's been times where my missus were like, go and, despite how the relationship is, she's like, go and spend time with your mum, man. Go and,
that's a beautiful woman.
She goes, go and spend time with your mum, take your mum out. Does that what I mean? And even despite how things are, she'll be like, go and spend time with your mum, man. Does that what I mean? Or if it's a thing where, I'll bring the kids to see my mum, or she'll be like, go and spend time with you. And that's one thing with her. She would never, despite what's happening, she's like, you know what? Your relationship with you and your mum, that's up to you two. I'm not gonna, does that what I mean?
Yeah.
So, give her that. So, when it's Mother's Day and stuff like that, it's a bit, does that what I mean? It can be, does that what I mean? So, but I just wanted to add that, does that what I mean? So it's not been a situation where it's like, you need to choose. So it's never really been that. It's just kind of been, like obviously where I say initially in the beginning when obviously all the situation happened, I would say I was probably like, what's mommy's boy, would I say? I'll just say like, does that mean prior to everything that happened, I was, I'd say like there was in the beginning, I did, obviously miss my mum from that period of time.
Oh.
But prior to, but after a while, the headaches and all, obviously the conflict in the family, I didn't miss.
Yeah.
But I just
you learn to adapt. You do learn to adapt, and you learn to. And it's those kind of situations, They make you grow. You have to go through them in order to. The only way out is through. Loads of people say the only way out is in. It's the only way out is through. So for you to go through that, you probably learn more about yourself. Probably learn more about other people and how people operate and how things work. Everything is energy. I always think in terms of energy. So everything is energy, and everything happens for a reason. And it helps us level up, consciously, spiritually, emotionally, so many different things,
Yeah. Verbz, you got any more questions?
No, I ran out, man.
I've got a few more questions, man. Verbz burnt out, man.
Yeah, man.
Verbz burnt out.
Divine and you combined just burnt through my list, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
you're just gonna have to go and meditate after this.
Next time you come on Divine, I'm gonna make sure I prepare 2 or 3 pages. You get me?
Yeah. So just got a few more questions, and this is obviously either you two could choose to go first. So this one, obviously we've discussed a lot of stuff, so I don't want it to be too repetitive, but in the scenario, obviously what we're talking about, do you think parental approval can strengthen a new relationship, or that will it create unnecessary pressure?
Ooh.
So if you want me to say it again, I can say it again slowly, yeah?
Yeah.
So, do you think parental approval can strengthen a new relationship, or does it create unnecessary pressure, do you think?
I mean, I'm going to go this way. Sometimes it can hinder it. I think it can hinder it because see, if you've got parents who really, really love off your partner, and there's no balance. I really think there has to be a balance, and this is why. Because if you've got parents that love off your partner, when your partner wants to do an absolute fuckery now, your parents going to be like, oh, but no, oh, you know what you're like? Oh, no, but he didn't do that. He wouldn't do that for you. And the whole time, my man did it, He 100% did it. But because my parents love him off, everyone thinks I'm the mad one now. Yeah. That happens. I've seen that shit happen, and it can be a little bit crazy. And I've seen people I know a woman who was in a very abusive relationship, and from the outside looking in, you wouldn't think it was abusive. He gave her everything. He did everything. She didn't have to go where, she didn't have to do nothing. But them lot were fighting bad behind closed doors, Wow. And it was like, her mum was like, yeah, but you're always attacking him, and you're always doing this, and you're always doing that. And it turns out he was really, really bad. They were both toxic, don't get me wrong, but he was really bad, that he was hitting her and everything, and she was hiding it. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think there really has to be a balance, because if there's no balance, it's like they're either going to really love them or really hate them.
Yep. Powerful. Yeah.
Very true. You know, I always say, like a lot of women I see on podcasts or whatever talk about how they want the man to buy them the house with the white fence and this and that and pay for this and they don't have to work and rare. And I say enough women keep on asking that, but they don't realize, see a lot of them man that will give you that. There's a price to pay for that, If a man's paying for something, he's going to want receipts. Like, yo, you better do what I say. If you don't, I'm going upside your head, blood. You know what I'm saying? All I got to do is give you, like, footballers, for example. You see the way some of them do with their wives. It's a madness because they're paying for everything. Like, I'm being real. You know what I mean? No, they're the biggest controllers. And then what happens is sometimes the footballers caught for cheating multiple times with different women. The wife finds out, it goes out in the press, and then what happens now is the footballer's like, feeling a bit glum, has to do some kind of press conference. But what it ends up with is he then whisks the wife away on some mad big holiday, shopping spree and rare. And the wife analyzes, if I leave him, I can't get this nowhere else. I'm going to have to stay and accept it.
They're going to hold 2 licks just to
get me. There you go. Well, I take 2 licks for them red bottom shoes. You get me?
Oh God, I'm not. Do you get me? I'm not condoning like DV or anything. But honestly, the amount of women who will just hold their beating, just to know, oh yeah, but you'll buy me something.
Exactly.
Like, you get me? It'll be fine because you'll buy me something, and I've got the world, I've got a house. But yeah, you've got the materialistic stuff, but your soul's gone.
Exactly.
Your soul's done.
See,
that's true.
I'm saying, and I'm glad you can co-sign where I'm coming from with that.
I
mean.
No, powerful Verbz, powerful.
Very.
Yeah. Did you want to add any more on top of that?
You're right though, in terms of what you said about the sorry, I just wanted to jump in. The pressure.
I a bit of a pause there.
Yeah, the pressure. You know that when you watch them movies and you have the like the narcissistic man moving up the woman.
Yeah.
Like that kind of situation can happen with the situation you just explained, where the parents love off the man, they don't believe he's abusing the woman, and then the woman comes from work or something and says, let me go check my parents, and then TT's the man's already in the house and he's cock up on the sofa, but the parents let him in. You just hear the horror music when she walks in the room.
Yeah.
Like, I just wanted to add that bit still, sorry.
Yeah, nice one.
It's a very valid piece as well.
Yeah, man, trust me. Do you want me to answer the question? Do you want me to answer the same question?
No, if you've answered it, I've got 3 more left.
All right, go on. Flow.
Yeah. So this one's going to be an interesting one. Yeah, I'm looking forward to your responses on this one. How would you navigate situations where your partner's parents do not approve of you?
Can I start with that one?
Yeah, Verbz, you can go ahead.
You know what? I've never really found that issue, you know.
Serious?
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. Yeah, I've never really found that. From a young teenager all the way up when I've met like ex-partners' parents and stuff like that. I've never found that issue. Even when some of them have seen me and seen like tattoos and this and that and whatever, and they think, oh, raw. Like, I still am able, because I'm quite confident and social, I'm able to present enough manners, enough respect, and even like offer like, oh, you know what? Even though I'm in their house, it's all right if I get a drink. Yeah, no problem. Would you like a drink? And they think, hold on, you know what I'm saying? And then they eventually bend pretty fast. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really have those issues. I think the only time I had that issue was with my partner now, her mum. She was good to me in the beginning, but there was a stage where she was coming at me with the flames and fire, bruv.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I think she must have went through a bit of a personal experience and
probably
taking it out. I think it was her own experience maybe, and she was just taking it out on me, man. And but she came around in the end, but where it was a tough task, blood.
I can imagine.
Yeah, me.
I can imagine. So, that's tough, man.
Divine.
So it's right off.
She's trying to run from the question. She's trying to run.
What I was going to say is, everyone's mum loves me, so I got men's mums saying, "Oh, you should be with her," but I don't want them.
See that?
But no. On a serious note, though. I feel like, so with me, like I'm adaptable, innit? So I'll find out what people like, or I'll just go with it, because like when you look at especially mothers, people's mothers, they're just big kids really, and they just want attention, they just want to be seen, they want to be heard, so I'll give them the floor. Do you get me? I will give them the floor. I'll say, it's your time, you shine, innit? Shine, and I will boost them and I will uplift them and I'll do the most, innit? Sometimes I've got one of my male friends, and I've got a really good relationship with his mum, and he's like, you daft my mum way too much. My mum's like, his mum's phoning me and everything and telling me all her business and this and the other. He's like, why is my mum always on the phone to you? But it's just, you have to be like, you just have to be adaptable. Because like I said, they're big kids. They just want, in a way, even though they're kind of there, you want their validation, they want your validation too. So I just think, yeah, man, you just have to not pander to them, but sometimes you just have to just let them do what they're doing because they'll go away eventually. Do you know what I mean? They'll go in their room and go do their little thing and speak to their little friends or whatever. And you're just giving them a moment. But I think if somebody's mum didn't like me, that would upset me. I know everybody can't like you, but it would upset me. And I'm the type of person I'd want to know why, innit? Especially if I really like that man. I'd be like, yeah, this is a problem. Why don't your mum like me? And if she gave me a valid reason, I'd be like, okay, maybe we can work on that. But if it was bogus, I'd be just like, I don't know what, I'll burn you and your mum. I ain't got time. I ain't got time to burn you. I got life to live. I can't be bothered. But yeah, man, I think it would just be mad. It would be mad. I don't know what I would do.
Okay. We're coming on towards the end. So next question. Verbz.
Yo.
Have you ever ended a relationship due to lack of parental approval?
Nah. Nah, in a nutshell, nah, because they will love me, man.
They will love me.
They will love me, you get me? So that really happened to me. But if I did experience lack of parental approval and the lady that I was with was adamant that she wanted me to get the parents' approval, I think I'd put in a shift still to try and get it. I like them kind of challenges, you get me? Yeah, so I'd put in the shift to try and spin their mind around and that, you know what I mean? But if it weren't working, then I'd probably say, all right, you know what, leave it.
Yeah.
But say if it was to do with the colour of your skin, how would you get the approval then?
I'm walking straight away.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
It's for that, I'm gone.
Yeah, because that's a real life scenario with a lot of people nowadays. There are parents, some of them might not necessarily be racist, but they have this mindset of a culture thing. They believe that their own should stick with their own. So that could be an approval. You could be the best person. You got all the tick all the boxes, but the color of your skin is a problem, and they cannot see that in their family. They cannot, deal with the idea that their child could potentially become, be part of the black race. It's an issue. And then, they're thinking about, oh my God, what would my parents think and what would just what I mean? It opens up all different kind of worms. So yeah.
Do you think that happens a lot in the black family, like the black community?
What do you mean from what point?
Yeah, like people closing the door on other races entering.
Yeah, it still happens, man. Definitely. You might not hear it, but
I'm not saying it don't happen, but I'm saying, do you think that happens a lot where it's like...
Yeah, I do. Okay. And if you was to probably do a research or even, type into Google, factors and statistics on, parents that approve of, interracial relationships, you'll find that the percentage is pretty high. Because you find that a lot of the same way that you find that there are, a lot of people that use the word coloured. Anytime I hear that word coloured, especially, and I've got a lot of white friends. You know what I mean? And, anytime I hear, any of my friends, use that word.
Yeah, you have to
I challenge it because I know that, I know them well enough to know that they're not racist, but I ask them, I said, where have you got that word from? And they say, it's my aunties or my granddad uses it. And I educate them and say, that's coming from like a kind of a racist kind of mindset, because what is coloured? Just called, this black person or this. Yeah. You know what I mean? Anytime I hear that word coloured, I automatically know that where that person is coming from straight away, because it's like it stands out. Yeah. It stands out to me, man. And anytime I hear that, I challenge it. I'm like, what is coloured? Coloured is black, pink, brown, yellow. That's what I mean.
I understand the older, say, white person using that term. I'm not saying like I agree with it, but sometimes you have to look at the dynamics. Let's just say they're in their 80s and they're using that term. Their social circle ain't vast. It's old school. They've probably got one or two friends left. The rest of them are dead. You know what I'm saying? They don't come across black people. So when they do it, they say, coloured. I don't really take it to an offence, because I look at it like your life's kind of ending and you ain't really mingling like that. And you could live in a black area, but your friends that you sip tea with ain't that. That's why you say that. But obviously for their younger generation to pick that up is a bit mad, if you get what I'm saying. And just to add to the black thing, what you're saying, the example about the black people not wanting certain colours or cultures of people into the black race. For me, I'm going to be honest with you, yeah, I personally think that, yeah, some people do prefer their own. I don't think sometimes that there's anything wrong with that if you prefer that yourself, yeah. But at the same time, if your child still is adamant that they want to be with someone else, you have to kind of respect that. You can't force. When you force, that's when it becomes a problem. I also think that a lot of black people, remember, we're not a privileged beings. We're not a privileged group. We're not a privileged race. We get a lot of the, what's the word? We get a lot of the bad cards dealt to us, innit? To the point where our safety or sometimes our life is at risk. So when, let's just say we have black parents that say, no disrespect when I say this, but this is an example, don't bring no white woman home to my house.
Yeah, and a lot of them will say that.
Yeah, they will say that, but I think where they're saying that, I'm not saying it's right to say it, but where they're saying it is their experience is they've encountered racism, they've been run down, they've been attacked, they've been rare. And some of them don't want that for their kids, if you get what I'm saying. Because even though we're in 2024, like we just saw the other day, bruv. I mean, literally a few months ago, 6 months ago, I remember seeing on social media and in comments, oh, racism don't exist, black people need to get over it, yeah? And then literally after the Southport thing, boy, the amount of racists I see coming out, mashing down the place to show you what time it was, innit? If you know what I'm saying. So I can understand why black people might have that stance. Don't force it on your youths, but at the same time I can understand, look, I just want my child to be with their own because I know they're going to be safe and they're not going to be racially abused and disrespected by nobody, where their confidence is chipped away and they're just a shell of themselves. You get me? Whereas if a white person was saying, don't bring no black person home, that's when I would see it as a problem. It's a problem on both sides. I see it as more as a problem because you're privileged. If a white person I've grown up on the roads like many of us have. Divine, you've grown up in Camberwell. Yeah. Genius, you're a South Londoner. I know some of the maddest mans on road. Yeah.
Crazy.
The maddest man's on road, active. And I'm not boasting about that because I just like, I shun the roadman mentality now completely. Yeah. But I can't help where I grow. Yeah, however, I don't know one black tug, that has ever said to me, yo, come, let's go and bust up that boy over there because he's white. I've never heard it, bruv.
It's true.
Never heard it. So when people say, oh, black people, when people say black people are racist, I know enough people, you know. If I go South London all over, enough people know me. Yeah. If I go a rave randomly and just pop in there, I'm going to know at least 20 people in the rave. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I've not known one person come and tell me that, no matter what event's going on. Yo, even when the Stephen Lawrence thing happened, even with these protests, I never got a phone call from one black male that said, yo, let's go out there and bust up them white boys there, you know.
No, because it don't happen.
Right. So to me, when a white person says it now, it's got a little bit more chest, bruv, because you're not at a threat, because we don't touch you lot.
Yeah.
We're trained to see you lot as an authoritative race. We know if we touch you, police are going to be involved, this, that, rare. This is your country, this is rare. So we just don't do that, blood. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's why I feel like we tend to, what you call it, say, oh, we don't really want other people involved because we want to protect our kids from all that madness that's going. Can you imagine if your child was black, going out with a white person now, and they were traveling to Middlesbrough or something like that, and then one of them protests kicked off and your child's walking down the road with them. It's a madness for your child, blood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A circumstance can just happen and your child's at risk because they're walking down the road. The reality is when you're black, you're restricted. You can't go anywhere without doing your research. You can't jump on, you know, when you get white people say things like, oh yeah, I got some money, so I'm going to jump on the plane and travel the whole world. It's a beautiful thing. I wish I could do that, blood.
But
as a black man, you got to type in Google countries that's safe for black people. You know what I mean?
No, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
It's a real thing, you know?
You get what I'm saying? So I just see it as it's not the same, bruv. I'm just being real with you. You know what I mean? Like, if you're forcing your youth, you're wrong. If you're saying that you don't want your child to be involved in that and they still do it and they're happy and you're forcing your youth, you're wrong. But I can understand why a black person would say that. Because shit ain't changed much from the 1970s to now, Rasta.
Yeah. No, it hasn't.
You know what I mean? So, sorry to put the grey cloud over the situation, but I just wanted to add that note.
It's a lot more westernized now, that's all.
Exactly.
That's what it is. It's still there. It still exists. It's still, you know, there's still uneducated people out there. And they say in the madness, and they don't even know what they're talking about. They're just joining in, really.
Exactly. You ask them why they're doing these things with the protests or whatever. They sound like idiots, man.
They're taking our jobs. Okay, James sits at the pub every night and spending his universal credit on pints.
Exactly.
You really took your job, innit?
Exactly.
You look like a doctor. You look like a dentist.
It's mad. I remember one time I was working as a youth worker, and there was this white kid, because he was in Croydon. Nice kid.
Oh my God.
Yeah, nice kid, but he was in Croydon and it was in Wooden. Wooden in the early 2000s was very benefited. You know what I mean? Like benefit people them was round there a lot, innit? But this white kid was on the coach coming back from a trip and he was sitting at the back of the bus with me, the minibus, and he goes to me, "Oh man, all these bloody foreigners coming here and because I think he was trying to crack a joke. We was cussing each other. And he tried to crack it at me like, "Oh, you're a foreigner. All these foreigners coming here and rah." So I laughed. I said, "Foreigners doing what?" He said, "Coming here taking our jobs." I said, "Bro, how old are you?" You know what I mean? And he goes to me, "Oh, I'm 13. I said, "Have you had a job?" And he goes, "No." Listen to me. So obviously that's not your rhetoric that you're spitting. Where did you get that from? You know what I mean? And he goes, "Oh, no, this is something that I heard." I said, "From who?" And he goes, "From my mum and my dad." Oh, okay. No, I understand. I hear that. If you live in it, you're going to hear that. You're a product of your environment, innit? Yeah? And he goes, "Yeah." I said, "So let me ask you a question then." He said, "Yeah." I said, since you've been a baby all the way up, have you ever had the privilege of waking up in the morning and your mum's not in because she's got up and gone to work? He said, "No." I said, "So your mum don't work?" He said, "No." I said, "All right. So have you ever had that privilege of your dad getting up and gone before you've got up to go to school and he's gone to work?" And he was like, "No." So I said, "Both of your parents don't work?" He said, "No." "They've never worked?" He said, "No." "And they're telling you that?" I said, "I suggest you go home and have some strong words with them, mate." You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That's mad.
You know what I'm saying? So it just shows you the mindset of some of them. You get me? You know,
the mindset is absolutely wild. Like, the mindset is just weird. Like, they just join in, don't they? They're just literally joining in with the noise.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
Your parents are on benefit and you're blaming foreigners and that, and these foreigners come in and do more work than your parents
have ever done. Man.
You know what I mean?
My grandparents were immigrants. My grandfather came from Antigua. My grandmother came from St. Kitts, and they worked. They worked for their last days, man. Trust me.
But even most white people are immigrants, because as we all know, they're not fully British.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
A lot of white people came over on a boat too, do you know what I'm saying?
Well, there you go. You know what I'm saying? The Irish was with us, were traveling the 7 seas with slaves and shit. So, you know what I mean? Yeah, but sorry, man, I digress. You get me? I digress. Let's get back on track. Sorry, Genius. Sorry.
I love that. It's nice. That's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to flow.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm really getting attacked by my cat.
Your cat is on you.
My kitten is doing a madness. She don't bother with me all day, and now she's just doing a madness. Sorry.
She's like the cameras on. I want to be a TikTok.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's so fun, man. Last question. So, what strategies can help maintain a healthy relationship with your parents while pursuing a partner they may not approve of?
Ooh.
What strategies can maintain a healthy partner with your parents.
Yeah, so what strategies can help you maintain a healthy relationship with your parents while pursuing a partner they may not approve of?
I think bonding sessions. Maybe you get me. Maybe set something up. So I know, like a male friend of mine. Him and his partner and his mum didn't get along, and he set up he did like a spa day and an afternoon tea for them both. You get me? And they came back best friends.
That's nice.
They came back laughing and everything. She was like, I don't even know why I didn't like her. You know, she's
that's
cool.
Good. Yeah, because I suppose that activity they will talk a lot, innit?
Yeah. So it's just about, maybe bonding and just doing things that can kind of bring you all together, or just having like a family time, but including them both. So they both know that you get me, that's your parents, but then your partner's your family now as well. So bring them all together and maybe get their families. Hold a big, you get me, have a little party or something, get their family, get everyone involved. They ain't got no time to hate. All they're going to do is eat, drink and laugh, innit?
100%. Yeah, I like that story.
I like that,
Very good answer. Yeah, I'm running with what Divine said.
Bird's hanging off my back right now. You know?
Yeah, man, I'm jumping on her like the cat with that answer, mate.
No, for real, trust me. Yeah, but you just gotta keep it positive. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, do you get me? Not everyone's gonna like everyone, and there are gonna be times where there's gonna be conflict, there's gonna be disagreements or whatever, differences in opinion. It's gonna happen, but that happens in everyday life with everyday people, whether it's your partner, your work colleague, whatever. You've just got to be, like I said before, adaptable. You've got to be able to read situations and just be confident in the person that you are, in order to kind of just enhance the good parts. That's what it's about. It's about enhancing the good part. Because, you get me? I always say, good and bad, they always have to coexist. Light and dark always coexist. They can't exist without each other. So it's going to be ups and downs, swings and roundabouts. But, however, it's what you decide to put your energy into. You know what I mean? If you really focus on the fact, oh, my mum don't like my partner or whatever, you're just going to enhance that. You just got to look at it, okay, oh, my mum don't like my partner, so what can I do to make the situation a little bit easy? If you got to keep them away from each other, keep them away from each other. Simple. And no one can say shit then.
Yeah,
powerful. Well said.
Out of sight, out of mind and all that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Quick, we're not the back door, my mum's coming.
Get it on the wardrobe. You know what I mean?
Good, man.
So for real, you got anything else you got to say, Genius? Or
No, that was the last question. That was it, man.
All right, then. So can we? So before we left Yasser, can we? Are we all in favor of parents' approval, or are we against parental approval? I'm gonna start with you, Genius. Yes or no?
Against parental approval.
Okay. I'd say I'm against parental approval as well. Not against, but it's not that necessary. What about you, Divine?
Yeah, ain't that deep. But the parents, man. Sometimes they're not going to give you, they ain't going to give you good advice. They could be blocking your blessings, isn't it? So
it's true. And hating.
Just practice your own discernment. You ain't got to, you get me? Just because your mum don't like him, don't mean your mum ain't with him, innit? Your mum ain't got to chill with him. She ain't got to lay down with him. She ain't got to do none of that. So just say, just be quiet, man. You might not like him, but I do.
100%. I like that still. Yeah, I mean. All right, then. So, well, you know what, Divine? Been a pleasure having you on, man. You've dropped some wonderful gems. Some real extended. Yeah, man. Some real extended.
I needed to come on 100%.
Yeah, man. We're going to get you on again, man. Trust me, we'll get you on again.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, but
really
I mean, the next time I'll have the 3 pages ready because them extended questions just I've never done this and like I've run out of questions. Like, that's how I know you're schooling me to the game. You know, that's good though.
Yeah,
like,
man.
You know what I mean? So yeah, you know. But listen, people, I hope you enjoyed that episode. Like I said, there's been a lot of gems dropped from all of us, especially our lovely guest, Divine. You know what I mean? From Whole Division Podcast. Divine, before we do the outros, what's your socials that we can attach to this episode?
So my page where I post inspirational quotes and I just give people real life shit is Breathe It All In, Love It All Out on Instagram. And then the Whole Division podcast is the podcast page where we just talk some real life things. Again, we have a little bit of fun and we have lots of scenarios on there. So yeah, tune into both.
Yeah, tune in, people. Follow Divine Whole Division podcasts on all social media platforms. Very inspirational.
Yeah. Definitely, I co-sign her work, man. It's good work, you know what I mean. So yeah, you're gonna see me you're gonna see me in your comments like a stalker still. You get me?
Loud and talk there, cuz. Loud and talk there, man. Loud and talk there.
No, big up you two as well, because I've watched like a lot of your pods and stuff and your discussions and stuff. And yeah, you're really doing it. It's so refreshing to see people who are talking, you know, they're just being real with it. And they're talking real life situations. It's not always about what's happening in the media, because life is still happening behind the screen. You know what I'm saying?
100%. Yeah, I agree with that statement. Yeah.
Yeah. And I will cover some things like with my little posts or whatever, but at the same time, when we do the pods, we just try to do things that people can relate to. You know what I mean? Things that like people can kind of learn from, or just open your eyes up to certain. Each one teach one. You know what I mean? We got to do that. You know what I mean? And it's just beautiful that you've come on here and then you've given us some insight in terms of like, you know, your experience, the podcast studio that you said you know of and all that. And I love that, man, because there's a lot of people in this game that are fucking stingy, blood.
Of course they will. They trust me. They'll just hold the thing. Oh, I don't know. Listen, I know, and if I know, I'm gonna share. How can we all elevate if we're gonna block each other? Do you know what I mean? That's long.
Exactly. We should all be able to come up together, man. You know what I mean? Right. You know. So now we love that, man. It's been great having you on. You know what I mean? So on that note, I'm gonna say goodbye for myself, Verbz.
Myself, Geniusman.
And goodbye for myself also.
And we'll see you next week on the next episode of the Triggered Thoughts podcast.
Yo, what you take this thing for? You're listening to the Triggered Thoughts podcast, blood.